Hi everyone, and welcome to this Thursday afternoon's Hangout. My name is Elene Marsden, and this is the Hangouts with Elene heart-to-heart show. And I'm absolutely delighted this afternoon to have with me Siobhan Costello. And we've just been talking before this Hangout went live, and we realised that we're two Celts. I'm Welsh, and Siobhan is from Ireland, from Dublin, and she's got a fantastic business, Get Business Results, and she's going to be talking to us a little bit about how she got started and how she's got to be where she is today. So I think without further ado, let me introduce you to Siobhan. Hi Siobhan, you're on.
Hi Elene.
I'm great, I'm great. Is it nice and warm where you are at the moment?
Yeah, very, very warm. Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't it just? Isn't it just? So Siobhan, now tell me, you've had such an interesting background. You've been an NLP practitioner and a hypnotherapist and a coach, and now you're doing something slightly different. Tell me what you're doing currently.
Yeah, I am a business coach for heart-centered businesses, and what I became aware of over the last 12 to 18 months was the power of putting work online, of getting your services online. And I don't always just mean, courses and things like that. I mean, getting out there to put content online that gives you profile and raises your profile. So when I set up Great Business Results about sometime about last year, about July last year, I really wanted to move forward with getting online webinars going, so training sessions online, either free or for sale as well. Yes. And that's what sets me apart from some of the competition in the area. Although I like to say I like to think about collaborations more than competition, because there's it's all about collaboration these days. Yes. So yeah, that's what I do. I run courses online, I run training online for heart-centered businesses who are wanting to really push forward and develop their business.
And so was it tough to get started and to move your business to the online world?
It was. It's always interesting when you try something new online. I'm not a techie person whatsoever, and I had to get over a lot of fears to do that. But actually, once I just made the decision to do it, I just went for it. I thought, it's okay, I'll just go and see how it goes. And I made my plan of action and went for it. So I did some research though, Elena. There are a lot of business coaches out there who are using this, who are, who have a huge profile. So I joined in on the webinars, joined in to see how they did it, what their content was like, what the difference between the US style and the UK style was like, really to find out where I fitted in and how I would use online presentations to help me. So it was tricky at the beginning to really understand, but now at this point I feel I know the tools that suit me, that are easy and simple to use, and I have a process, and that's what it boils down to. This is a process.
Well, we'll come on to the tools later, but it's so true that if you want to learn something new, you've got to plunge in at the deep end and just find out who else is doing it, join in their shows, particularly with Hangouts as well. See which style suits you so that you can copy that style. Same with online learning.
Yeah, and it's a bit like it's also the same as what you're doing. Sometimes people have a different approach, that maybe you want to use the tools, but you don't particularly want to take their approach. So it does help to look around a bit and then find people like you who can actually really sort of help you and get you sorted and get you on the way forward with it. Yes. Because as you know, with Google Hangouts, they are so they're so key to raising the profile of your business. You've just got to address it. You've just got to have it as part of your marketing plan.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of the courses that you've got and the tools that you use to present those courses to your customers, to your learners.
Yeah, I have two signature programs at the moment. The first one is called The 7 Steps to Your Successful Business. And I ran that recently with a colleague of mine. and it was great. It was fantastic. We ran it together over 7 weeks with a cohort of people who were in small businesses, and really got some great testimonials, which is fantastic. And I'm now taking on board those evaluations and adding to the course, and we'll relaunch it again in September, October time. But this program, my second program, is called the Online Success Formula, and this grew out of workshops that I was doing with Cambridgeshire County Council, where I live. So you may have heard of Destination Digital. It's a grant scheme for small businesses, and I applied for the grant to get some more equipment to help me with the webinars. And in the course of the discussion with the person who's helping me out, he said, we would love you to run some workshops on how to do this. And I thought, that's bizarre. That's not true. No way, absolutely no way. And he said, look, we're looking for people just like you, people who don't really know anything about technology, but who are making their business work through using online methods. And I thought, yeah, why not? This is definitely something that everybody can learn to do. I am no techie expert. I have sent out blank MailChimps, newsletters, I've sent out tweets that have gone out half completed, and Facebook posts that have been a complete disaster. So I am no techie expert, but so I put together the workshops, and now I have put those workshops into an online format, and that's my second program, which I'm just about to run. It's called the Online Success Formula.
Okay, so that you actually did that live, and it was an audience face-to-face with people, and you just converted it, packaged it, if you like, into an online course. Yeah,
it was a 3-hour session workshop, but I have put it into a longer program, because obviously if you're doing it over 4 sessions, you can really put in lots of extra information. And as you'll know yourself, Elena, not only can you do the session on the night, but you can also add in other products that people can listen to in between times, so extra recordings with experts or extra tools. So that's why it's made a much more chunky program online.
Yes, and the other thing as well, of course, you can actually add to it and change it. So if you're going to run it again, which I'm sure you will, it's not set in stone, it's continually evolving.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about it. And I'm hoping that people who come onto the course won't, that they'll be coaches and trainers and others who are thinking outside the box about their business. So I know a cleaning company, for example, who are using webinars to position themselves as an expert in the house cleaning field.
Right.
And it's fantastic. I know another accountancy firm who have set up a series of webinars for their clients on how to use their different systems, database systems, and on different aspects of, forecasting for small businesses. So it's, if people are thinking, oh, this is only for coaches or trainers, it is absolutely not.
No, it's a way of really showcasing your company, you as a person, and if you've got physical products, those physical products too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've also run a series of free webinars for 2 reasons. One was to raise the profile of my business, so to let people know I was out there doing this, and secondly to build my community, to build my database, and to reach a wider audience. And if you think about it, this is the key way to do it. You can things are shared all over the world, so you find people there who are listening to you from the US, from Canada, and they may not buy from you, or you may not even be selling anything on that particular webinar, but you are in there on their radar for the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you don't have to sell anything. Sometimes when I was doing the free webinars, I was just offering free sessions. So it's not always about selling a product.
No. So let's go back then. This was a 3-hour face-to-face course. You converted it into a 4-session course spread out over a month.
Yeah.
So how do you then deliver the course? What sort of tools do you use to deliver it?
Yeah, so the course is delivered online, and I use GoToWebinar, and I'm not an affiliate of GoToWebinar or anything like that. It's it's the tool that I like, and it's so if people who might come on the course will learn how to use that. I also use Camtasia for editing, and I show people how to use that as well. So during the course, they'll actually do the whole thing. They'll record the webinar, they'll do the editing, they learn how to store it. So you can use Dropbox, or you can use Amazon S3 as well to store. There are lots of storage tools, but they're the ones that I use. So yeah, that's what people, they'll also find out how to develop an online content. So Elena, again, you'll know this. It's all very well to sit in front of a camera on an evening and be charismatic, but if your content is not right, then you can forget it. So the course covers how to position your content so that it's good, it's attractive to your client market, who are your client market, and really to engage them and hold their attention.
Right, right. And so I'm guessing as well there's the whole side of selling your course. I know you said that you don't always have to be selling. It can be things that you're giving away for free. But so do you manage all the sales process and the buy buttons, etc.?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because a key part of this whole process is if you are selling things, you've got to know about a sales page, how to have the wording right on the sales page so that it works, how to get that PayPal button right, or the Pay Now button, whatever button you want to have there, and but also usually when you're selling from a free webinar, it's important to right from the very beginning to script that in a way that engages your audience, but also highlights to them why they need the product that you're selling, why they need your service. And there is a format for that. There's a way to do that, that over the course of an hour or a 90-minute webinar, it tracks the person to actually go further, to look at the sales page and then to buy it. But you've got to identify the gap between where they are and where they want to get to during the course of that webinar.
Indeed. So how long are those webinars typically, those taster ones that you offer?
The taster ones, they're usually about an hour to an hour and a half. And I, because I've done these free webinars, I know what my client group are interested in. So you can also use webinars for research as well, because people will tune into the topic that you talk about. And if they're not interested, you'll know straight away. And GoToWebinar also shows you analytics, like how long people have stayed on, how long they've listened for, how attentive they've been. So again, you get a good idea when you look at your free webinar, just how engaging that content has been for that particular audience.
That's excellent. I mean, I use GoToMeeting, and that's a smaller version of GoToWebinar. I didn't realise you've got all those analytics. You could probably see exactly the point when people switch off.
You can, indeed. There is a little toolbar, and it does show you how attentive your audience are being. But that's it's all in the way you communicate. If people aren't being attentive, it's to do with how you're communicating the information, or whether the information is of value to them. When it's right, the match is perfect. You've got people engaging with you, type into the chat box, or when you open the lines, they'll talk to you. And that's all the stuff that I go through on the course. Is how do you actually when I did it first, it takes a bit of courage to unmute the lines. You think, oh, what's going to happen here? And so we go through how you do that, how you do it comfortably, and how you manage your audience in a way that they feel they're getting the value that they wanted to get in the first place from you as well, whilst you're managing your time as well. Yes. So it's usually an hour to an hour and a half for each webinar.
It sounds like there's a lot to, well, there is a lot to it, but with practice you get confident. Like that first time you opened up those lines, it must have been really scary. And then you're probably quite confident with that now.
Yeah, I don't really get flustered. I mean, things still go a bit AWOL occasionally, but people are forgiving for a start, and also it shows you're human, it shows your personality, and I know that a lot of these things are actually they're small technical hitches that when you actually just step back and say, right, what's going on here, you can sort it out.
Yes.
So there are times where I haven't shown my screen, but because I've asked the question, can everybody see my slides? Or somebody will type in, I can't see your slides. So and they're all things that can be sorted usually.
It's a bit like the Hangout technology. If things go wrong, you've just got to pick yourself up and carry on. Yeah. The show must go on, no matter what.
And the great thing about learning how to edit is that when you go to send out the recording, you can actually take out all of the gaps where you've possibly been sort of flicking between screens trying to get things right. So the recorded product is actually of a good quality because you've taken out the ums and ahs and all the sort of gaps like that. And that's why it's really important to learn that editing, how to cut and take those ums and ahs out, so that when you do send out the recording or you go down the lines of recording a course, that actually the actual content that you send out, the webinar that you send out, is a refined product.
Sure. And the thing is, often we don't know if we're doing a lot of until you record yourself for the first time. And if you know, then you can try and stop that and, be aware of it.
It's very interesting, isn't it? When you listen back to the recording and you hear all those things that you say, you think, oh my God, do I really say that? So it's good fun.
Yes.
Good fun.
Yeah, indeed. So, what else? Tell me a little bit about what your next plan is. I mean, you've obviously got this course coming up next month, or when's it starting?
This course starts on the 6th of August. So it starts on Wednesday week, I think.
Okay.
And it runs every Wednesday night from 7 p.m. to 8:30 for an hour and a half.
Yes.
And what's great about it is you don't have to be there live, so you can go away on your holiday if you want to do that for part of August. You'll get the recording the following day, so you can keep up to date on the material, or you have it there forever to do as you want with it at a later date. So it runs over every Wednesday night for 4 weeks through August.
Right.
And sorry.
No, I was just going to say, well, the fact that you've put this course together, you're almost showing the people who sign up for your course how to do the course that you've put together.
Exactly.
You're walking
taking them through. Yeah. Exactly. So everything that I've done so far to do the course, to launch it, the advertising, the emails that I've sent out, that's all part of the process that I'm teaching people on the course. And then we move into how do you set it up, and then how do you get the script. If you're going to write a script, it's not always necessary to write a script, but for a first time it's quite good to do that, so you really are seeding in the information you need to put into the content. How do you attract your ideal client? Because again, this is about using their words, their phrases, knowing what their pain is. If you go out with a webinar, an online session that you think is interesting, but actually doesn't really appeal to your client group, then it's not going to land within their radar, within their sphere at all. So yeah, I just basically, this course is so simple for me to do because I basically work people through the process that I'm going through.
Excellent.
So it's good.
Excellent. And do you have like a maximum number of people or an ideal number that you'd like to work with?
I don't, because the more the merrier, but also a small group can be really good because people will really get to know each other. So I'm going to set up a Facebook page so that when people are going through doing their test recordings or their content or their drafts, that we can actually see it on the Facebook page. They can load up so that we can see what's going on and comment with each other's work.
Brilliant.
So that's what I really want to do. But But there's no ideal number. You know, that's the beauty again. You don't have to rent a room and hope to get 10, 20, 30 people into the room all on the same day. You just know that they can do this at their leisure. They can sit there in their pajamas doing it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, and you know, we've got some listeners and viewers from all around the world. So you know, wherever you are, as long as the time zone works for you, but it could be first thing in the morning or late at night. You know, it doesn't matter at all. Which is, I love that about, you know, working online. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to engage people in it as well. You know, so I don't want it to be just me lecturing, because that's no fun for me either. So, you know, a lot of the free webinars I've done, I've engaged with people. So either through question and answer on the chat box, or opening up the line so that people can ask questions. So, you know, that's really important when you're doing this online, because we're moving away from the traditional classroom method, aren't we? Where you can put your hand up and ask a question. So I really want to build people's confidence during the course as well, you know, on doing this, on talking online, on seeing how you manage it. You know, that's really important to me.
Sounds fantastic. Well, I was on a webinar yesterday, and right at the very end there was a competition, and you had to guess the piece of music, and there were lots of prizes, and if you were quick enough and you put the answer in the chat room, in the chat box, you'd get a prize. It was so exciting. I had a guess at all these pieces of music. I didn't win anything. I didn't get the right answers for a start, but it was different.
That's brilliant. I really love that idea. I might have to borrow that idea.
You're welcome. It's all, you know, this guy was talking about, you know, his membership program, and it was really keeping people engaged right until the very end. It's a free webinar, but, you know, stay on at the end and there are prizes to be won.
And there are great, you know, when you listen to a lot of the webinars, and that's what I did at the beginning, was a lot of research to hear what people were doing and the different styles and the different ways that they engaged people, but also the different technology that people were using to find out where, because I was essentially quite scared of this technology issue. What would happen if it all went kaput in the middle of the session? So it was very important to me to really investigate what systems were being used by what people, and also to think about the fact that, you know, not all of us have a big team around us. So it might be yourself and a VA, a virtual assistant who's helping you. We're not necessarily in some big, huge department, you know, where we're doing all this, you know. So that was really important to me, which is why I settled on GoToWebinar in the end. But I have also used Webinar Jam. I think you know about Webinar Jam as well, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, which is great too.
Is it? So, you know, with your GoToWebinar, do you have your picture in the top right or left-hand corner of the screen, and most of the screen is your computer screen, sharing slides or sharing technology? How does it work? What would it look like?
Yeah, essentially, if you just record on GoToWebinar, it is your presentation and your screen only.
Okay.
So it would be your PowerPoint presentation and your voice.
Okay.
When you record with Camtasia as well, so Camtasia is the editing tool,
yes,
and it has a facility to allow you to record what's going on your screen.
Right.
You also can use your webcam, and you can get a little picture of you coming through as well, just like what we've got here on.
Yes.
So Camtasia allows you to get that little picture in.
Okay. Yeah. So you use that as well? Do you use that?
I do sometimes, and sometimes it depends really on what the purpose of the webinar is.
Yeah.
You know.
As long, it depends if you're in your pajamas or not.
Exactly. Have I got my lippy on? Is my hair okay? You know.
Indeed. I know we had some questions, but they don't seem to have come on the screen. But we did have a question about, you know, I'm really scared of this technology. How am I going to cope? But I think you've answered that. But have you got anything else you'd like to say on the technology?
Well, I think it's really great to do it bit by bit and not to do anything live for a while. So the beauty about you know, all of these tools is that they have a free 30-day trial. So that means you have 30 days to play around with it. You don't have to press the start broadcast now button to anybody. You don't have to advertise it. You can simply run your webinar to yourself and practice it over and over again. So that's what I would say is really crucial, to get to know the technology, to do it several times on your own first. Just even 5 minutes, that's all.
Yes.
And then the other key tip is that practicing what you're going to say is also helpful for you. Although you may move off the script, maybe you like to just work with bullet points, still it's really important to practice it and to know how it's going to go and what you're going to say, what you're going to lead on to. That helps your time management, and it helps you get across the message that you really want to deliver. But I'd say the key thing for somebody who's afraid of the technology is really just to take it easy. Just sign up for the free session, the free the month of free access to it, and really just play with the technology. Run a few webinars yourself, just for yourself, even just for your family. Just get a feel for it and start with that.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. That's one of my phrases. I like that one. I was going to come on to wrapping things up now because our half an hour has gone so quickly. So Siobhan, how can people actually find out and sign up for this course? What's the website?
It's the link is www.greatbusinessresults.co.uk/online success formula.
Brilliant. Well, I will make sure that I put that in the bottom of the video on YouTube, etc., so people can just click on that link and go straight to it. And we're going to end with a little question. Got a question for you. What's your favourite phrase or the thing or a motto or something that you use to help you or that you like?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And I was thinking on the way, what would I do if she was to ask me that? And I've thought, I must remember to have that ready. I don't. There you go. But I do know that there is a Napoleon Hill phrase that I've always found really, really inspiring. And I can never quote it perfectly, but it's that one where he says, if you believe it, then it'll happen.
Yes.
And that's just what I believe is, and that's the way I work with the webinars, just take that first step, believe it can happen, and it absolutely will.
That is perfect. What a great note to end on. Thank you so much, Siobhan. That was brilliant. And
thanks for having me, Elene. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks a million.
Yeah, thank you ever so much. And everybody, next week we've got Carl Lamb from Ambient Light coming on to talk about Google+. I'm really curious to find out why he's got over 1 million views on his page, what he's done to achieve that. So please come back next time. And once again, thank you very, very much, Sobhan, and see you in real life soon, I hope.
Yes,
Bye
thanks,
for
Elene.
now.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye now.